It was a typical summer day, the kind where the sun blazed fiercely in the sky, making the asphalt shimmer like a mirage. You had just finished running errands and were looking forward to the cool embrace of your car's air conditioning system. As you slid into the driver's seat, the familiar scent of your vehicle enveloped you, mixed with a hint of the fresh air from outside. You turned the key in the ignition, and the engine roared to life. You cranked up the AC, expecting that refreshing blast of cold air to wash over you. But instead of the usual chill, you were met with a disappointing stream of warm air. Confused, you fiddled with the controls, turning the dial and pressing buttons, but nothing changed. The air continued to flow at a lukewarm temperature, as if mocking your expectations. Panic began to set in. The heat outside was relentless, and you could feel beads of sweat forming on your forehead. What could have gone wrong? You had just had the car serviced last month, surely, they would have checked the AC system. You recalled a few possibilities that could lead to such an unfortunate situation. One of the most common culprits was a refrigerant leak. The refrigerant is the lifeblood of any air conditioning system, allowing it to cool the air before it enters the cabin. If there was a hole or crack in one of the hoses or components, it could easily escape, leaving your system unable to produce cold air. Another thought crossed your mind: the compressor. It was responsible for circulating the refrigerant through the system. If it had failed or malfunctioned, it could prevent the AC from working altogether. You remembered hearing a faint clicking noise earlier that morning, a sign that something might be amiss. As you sat there in your car, sweat trickling down your back, you decided to take a closer look. You opened the hood and peered inside, hoping to find something obvious. The engine hummed quietly, but everything seemed intact at first glance. You checked the serpentine belt that powered the compressor. It looked fine, but you knew better than to assume everything was okay just because it appeared so. With no visible issues, you considered checking the AC fuse. A blown fuse could cut power to the AC system entirely, rendering it useless. You rummaged through your owner's manual to locate the fuse box and found it tucked beneath the dashboard. After some effort, you managed to pull out the fuse associated with the AC system and inspected it closely. It looked intact, no signs of burning or damage. Frustrated but determined, you returned to your seat and pondered your next move. Perhaps it was time to consult a professional mechanic. After all, diagnosing AC issues could be complex without specialized tools and searched for nearby auto repair shops. As you waited for someone to pick up, you reflected on how often we take our car's comfort for granted. The AC was one of those features that blended into the background until it was suddenly absent. When a friendly voice finally answered, you explained your predicament in detail. The mechanic listened patiently and suggested a few common issues based on what you described: refrigerant leak, compressor failure, or even an issue with the climate control module. They assured you that they could perform a diagnostic test to pinpoint the problem. Relieved to have a plan in motion, you drove to the shop with the windows down, trying to catch any breeze that would help alleviate the heat inside your car. Upon arrival, you explained everything again to the mechanic and handed over your keys. After what felt like an eternity of waiting in the uncomfortable lobby, where other drivers shared their own tales of automotive woe, the mechanic emerged with news. Your heart sank as they explained that there indeed was a refrigerant leak in one of the hoses and that it would need replacement. You nodded along as they detailed the repair process and costs involved. It was an unexpected expense but necessary for your comfort during those sweltering summer months. As they worked on your car, you couldn't help but think about how essential these systems are in modern vehicles, not just for comfort but also for safety. Finally, after some time had passed, you received a call that your car was ready. You paid for the service and climbed back into your vehicle, feeling a renewed sense of hope as you cranked up the AC once more. This time, cold air surged from the vents as if welcoming you back home.